Before you begin the wash stage of your painting, you want to make sure that the masking fluid is completely dry. And the way to tell this is that it begins to look transparent instead of milky. If there's still a few areas that have some milky spots, let it dry a little bit longer. Usually takes about 15 minutes to half an hour to get it completely dry. The next step is to begin to mix the colors for the wet into wet background wash. I'm going to use oxide of chromium, and I'll mix a good sized puddle of this color. When you mix color for a wet into wet wash, you want to mix it to the consistency of thick cream. You'll notice that I have a clean brush for each little puddle that I'm mixing here. I don't want to contaminate the colors, even though they'll blend together on the paper. I want the puddles of color to be as pure as possible. The next one is Payne's Gray. The next color will be a little bit of green gold. I don't need a very big puddle of this one. And finally, just a little bit of quinacridone gold. I like to stand for this part of the painting because I can see what I'm doing just a little bit better. My hockey brush is the perfect brush for wetting the background. I want to give the background a nice uniform coat of water, making sure I go clear out to the edges. Now you'll notice that I'm working this time on an old, very well used bath towel. The purpose of that is to absorb the water around the edges of the painting. This will help to prevent the water from bleeding back into the wash and ruining the effect. I want the light to be coming from this area, so I want this to be the darkest part right here. Make sure that you're not going to get interrupted because it's kind of the most dangerous part of the whole operation. So I'm going to begin with some of my lightest colors way up here in the right corner, leaving a little white there. I switch back and forth from one brush to the other. The hockey brush gives a nice broad stroke, whereas the little round brushes give me more control. I'm just laying the color in, kind of feeling my way along, varying the colors quite a bit as I do this. Because I've mixed the colors into puddles before I start, I don't have to worry about hunks of pigment getting in there and messing up the wash. It'll be nice, smooth color. I won't have any streaks of really dark, unpleasant color in there. I can make the colors move just a little bit by tilting the paper, and this creates some nice soft blends. As long as there's still a nice even shine on the surface, I can go back in and add color here and there. As soon as the shine begins to go off the paper, though, you can't add color any longer. As you can see, I have to work rather quickly at this stage because I don't want to lift that underlying color. All right, now one more application of the hairdryer. When you dry it, be careful that you have taken the biggest gobs of paint off of the masked areas, because sometimes the hairdryer can push them out into the wash and it will mar the wash surface.